Hi, Richard Hunter Rice, Minerva Growth. So, before our latest interview with Chloe Puff from Chloe Puff Training, I wanted to give some context behind the interview. So, a little bit different to the previous interviews that we've done up till now, but the reason why I have been so keen to interview Chloe is just for the simple fact of the way she uses her social media. Instagram in particular, she is very, very real. She uses it, I believe, really, really well. It's just very, very natural. There is zero bullshit on there, and she speaks from the heart and tells you exactly how it is. If she's having a crap day, she'll speak about it. If she's having a good day, it's all out there. Very, very supportive channel. But I just think that a lot of people can take some real positivity from the way that she uses her social media channels for a better good. And I just think there's a much bigger story there. So I hope you enjoy this interview. If you would like to see anyone in particular in the future, please reach out to me either at rich, R-I-C-H, at minervagrowth.co.uk or info at minervagrowth.co.uk. Always interested in meeting lots more people for these future interviews in the future. So anyway, I will stop talking. Enjoy the interview. Welcome to the latest Facebook Live, where we bring value to business owners around the globe on topics that will be useful to them right now and also into the future. So hi, thanks for agreeing to take part in this conversation. Please introduce yourself and your business.
Wonderful. My name is Chloe, and my business is Chloe Puff Training. I'm a personal trainer online, mainly for women, specified in postpartum training, as well as training for dancers and other athletes.
So why did you start the business?
Truthfully, I mean, I've been dancing all my life, but things really, really shifted for me after probably my first baby. And it wasn't until the second baby, I was literally like days away from giving birth, the week of Thanksgiving, with my second. And I decided to purchase a study program through ACE to officially get certified, because this has been something that I've been doing for a long time, but I wanted the credibility. So then I had something to back up this passion that I had. And so it was probably the hardest time with a second newborn baby, postpartum depression, studying for my certification. It was the hardest season of my life, but I got through. I passed my test on the first try. And currently I am studying even deeper. I'm taking a PCES course, which is essentially just deeper into the postpartum recovery type of course. But yeah, it's that the reason I started was because I became a mom, and I was wondering why it was so hard for me to heal. I didn't understand why my core was so weak. And then I realized that there were so many other women out there who needed the same information. And so I just scooped that up and took charge and decided to create something of my own.
What a great time as well. I don't think ever business owners really plan these things out. I know I didn't with Minerva Grove, so fair play to you. That sounds like it was a real challenging time, but amazing.
It was.
So what is your background then?
My background, my gosh, I've been dancing since I was 3, and I'm 28 now. So you do the math. My whole life has been based around athleticism. But my passion, honestly, like I knew when I was 16 that I wanted to be a professional dancer. What I didn't know at that time is that I didn't actually want to be a professional dancer. What I enjoyed about it was the challenge of learning new things and moving my body in different ways and feeling very connected and grounded into my own body. So my background was in dance. I started pursuing hip hop when I was 16. I moved to LA for several years and did it professionally, even though I honestly did not want to. I don't like being in the limelight, in the sense that I would rather be on the mentorship side, behind the scenes, the creative in the project versus I don't know. So basically that led me to basically taking my love for dance, spreading it to others. I started teaching when I was only 16 under the guidance of Kalani Marks, who is the founder of Creative Minds. We have 2 locations, and it's been a journey. And from there, from a dancer's background, still dancing up until I was like 36 weeks, like with 4 weeks to go, both times. And that's what ultimately led me into the fitness aspect, because I knew I could help more people in a way that was relatable, because not everybody dances, but everybody needs to be healthy and fit. And so that's kind of how I transitioned. And I'm still doing dance, but my personal business, the focus is fitness.
Okay. So what drives or what motivates you?
Oh my goodness. So many things. I think partially one thing that at least keeps me going is the fact that when I'm exercising, or if I go into the garage, which my daughter Alice knows that that's mommy time, she'll always want to exercise with me, or it's so sweet. Like she'll see me leading Zoom classes or anything like that, and she'll be like, "Can I sit and watch you exercise?" Or like she'll she'll randomly like put her hands up on the table and be like, "Mom, I'm doing push-ups." And she's only 3, and just seeing her want to pursue a healthy lifestyle at that age. And then my son, who's only 18 months, just the fact that he loves to move and wiggle and will jump and try and do push-ups and things like that, that's what keeps me going, because I know that by setting an example, it just makes me feel good to send a positive message to my children about their bodies, versus like, I know the way that we talk about our bodies directly affects the way that your children will feel about theirs. And so rather than focusing on the aesthetic of my body, it's more just about feeling really good and what exercise does for me. And my daughter and my son both see that it makes mom happy. And so I think just being able to share that with my kids especially is something that really, really motivates me for sure.
Yeah, that's amazing. I like that. So what's happened to the business over the past 3 months? Obviously, been crazy, crazy, unprecedented times globally at the moment. So what's happened to the business? How's the business been affected over the past 3 months?
Okay, so this is I'm going to tell you all the honest, gritty details. So I my business was kind of more of a side business. My main focus was actually the dance studio. For a long time, I had been the creative director there. So it was designing classes and creating programs, that sort of thing. What I realized over so far the last 3 months is that I was feeling, I mean, obviously, dealing with depression and things, and I can go into that later. I needed to eliminate the things that were not bringing me joy in any capacity, which is a huge risk because, not every portion of your job or anything is going to be something that brings you joy. But what I realized is what I liked most about my job is, again, helping other people, being in the room with people, having people understand their bodies, which for me meant I need to step down from that role and really embrace more of the mentorship side. And in becoming the creative director at the studio, I wasn't able to spend as much time with the students as I would have liked, because it was more about the studio, the big picture, than the micro. And I think for me, I realized that I needed to make that shift. Now, because of that shift, because I said, listen, I don't want to do this, but I need to step down for my sanity and focus on individuals. That means now I need to shift my business from more of a side business to full time. The money hasn't changed because I basically was pushed out of my role anyway due to COVID. We're not open, so my role didn't even exist. So essentially, I stepped down and just said that when the studio does open, this is how I want to resume my position. So now it's a matter of going, okay, this was a fun thing just on the side that I could help people, but now my family depends on this income. So for me, this is a very new shift. I haven't lost any clients, which is good. But what I have done, because I know that everyone is so deeply impacted, what I've done is, even though I know it's not best for my business, like I said, my scope right now is very macro. It's very or micro, I should say. It's very much focused on the mental health of the individual. And so I have kind of worked out, like, pretty much there's a few people doing my programs for like dirt cheap, because I just wanted to be able to give them access and not feel like something that's out of their control affects their ability to be able to continue with their fitness journey. So I've had to make a lot of sacrifices on my end to be able to accommodate that. But honestly, this is a very new shift. So I'm still in the middle of figuring it out. I know a lot of people are focused on their health right now. So the potential to grow is there. Now I need to just shift into that as my full-time thing rather than kind of my side thing. So
you will always be very successful because your passion exudes out of every part of your body, and you're chasing the dream and something you're very passionate about. So you'll be very successful. Trust me, absolutely.
thank you. Thank
And
you.
sometimes you need something, that trigger to push you. And I think COVID's changed everyone, I hope, in the better. And, it's either a massive opportunity to jump at. I think health is a real big thing. Everyone's been looking at their health. I know in the UK
Yes.
lockdown has been quite tough on
Yeah.
many people, and, not being able to get out of the house more than once a day. So there's a whole new energy around looking after your body and health
Yes.
and fitness. And it's amazing.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so you touched on it very, very briefly then, but the thing that caught me about you, caught my attention about you was about your social media channels, and in particular Instagram. So, talk to me about how you use your social media channels.
It's funny because I follow some of the rules as far as like, what's going to get more engagement and blah, blah, blah. But social media was never my focus. But
Hmm.
I will say on the business side of things, like it's an amazing way to get my passion out for free. I'm not using paid ads or anything like that. Everything that I do through Instagram is completely organic. I don't put a filter on my life. And I think that makes that I put myself out there the way that I would have wanted when I was going through my darkest time. So for me, my hope is that, my social media, even if it helps one person get through a difficult spot and kind of reclaim their health and, take charge of themselves and put themselves first, then I've done my job. I don't necessarily plan content in the way that I know a lot of people do, and I know that's necessary for businesses to have a marketing strategy, but my strategy is just continue to be honest. The only thing that I really do is I try to post 3 times a day, but sometimes I get behind on like planning the posts. And so I'm just like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I think that's what's worked best for me anyway, long term.
100%. I think your honesty, it's second to none. And that, you do really put yourself out there, and you don't sugarcoat stuff, and you speak from the hip as you see it. And it's very, very engaging. I've commented a few times and seen stuff. It's like, wow, it's just amazing. It's very, very powerful. I hate the
Thank you.
rules. I hate the rules of
Yes.
Instagram and social media, and a lot of it's bullshit. And
Yeah.
I think the approach that you've got is absolutely working, and we need more people like that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. My thing is like, you know what? The algorithm is always going to put me at the bottom of the chain. So the few people that do see me and want to engage, my hope is that they get what they came for, which is like honest, quality information, access to. Honestly, at the end of the day, people are logged on because they're logged on to Instagram to consume. I
Yep.
want my material that people are consuming to make people feel empowered, because I spent way too much time postpartum looking at and consuming social media that was making me feel like garbage
Yep.
because it was just fake because it
Yep.
was supposed to look a
Absolutely.
certain way. And I just don't believe in that. So
100%. Every industry's got it. So from the business
yeah,
coaching point of view, there's so much bullshit about business coaching. You can be a millionaire at 21. You've got no experience at all, and on online, you got a laptop, you got the internet, and you'll be a millionaire in 6 months. And it's all that kind of stuff that drives me to be better and to put myself out there more, because it drives me absolutely potty. So fair play, keep up the good work.
thank
Okay,
you.
so and how do you see the world right now? What's happening
Um,
in where you are in the States around COVID and lockdown, and is things starting to pick up again?
Yeah, it's interesting. I've noticed. I mean, and my scope is only obviously in this one part of the world, but it
Of
seems
course.
that there's a big disconnect in the States where everybody would just choose to go on their own opinion versus just sucking it up and doing what needs to happen in order to continue. Um, I have I have very strong stances on the things that are going around, and like even my husband and I are like very like we're polar opposites, which makes it difficult. But at the end of the day, my hope is that actually at the end of the day, I think it's going to get worse before it gets better here because that's just it's just how America is. We're all very opinionated, I guess, but I really do see this as like a pivotal moment in history where I really do think that, you know, after all this is said and done, let's just fast forward to 2023. I really do see things changed for the better. I know this is like a very dark time for a lot of people, but I feel like this is what we need to like literally wipe the slate clean, to just like put all the garbage out at once. Let's deal with everything. Let's, you know, we're gonna struggle through, but I think at the end of the day, I really think down the road in a couple years, it will be for the better for sure.
Yeah,
So things are
I'm a
starting
firm
to open
believer.
up, but people don't want to wear masks and wash their hands. Whatever. Like
It's not just over there. Don't worry. It's not just over there. It's not unique at all. So what's next for the business? What's next for either you or the business or both?
Yeah. Well, for me personally, actually, this you caught me on a really good weekend. This is the first moment that I felt like I could actually breathe. Things have been really good for the past 2 weeks, and by really good, I mean they haven't been terrible. So this is not the best moment of my life for sure by any means. But now I feel like, and I think we might have even talked about this for a long time, dealing with depression and anxiety, dealing with that on top of everything that's going on in the world. I felt like for a long time, like I stumbled off a cliff and I'd just been like trying to climb my way back to just the starting line. Now I'm sitting at the starting line, bruised and scratched, but like so ready to move forward. So for me personally, I'm just kind of taking it one day at a time. I'm not in a place where I think it's even helpful for me to dream big and focus on my long-term goals. My goal is just to be able to each day express gratitude and recognize my own growth, because I have been through the most lately. And so I'm just focused on like gouging out all the toxic people and things out of my life. And like I said, just about like America and the world in general, just starting with a clean slate. That's my goal for myself as well. I want to start with a clean slate. I don't want to have to be juggling all the things. I want to feel like I have exactly what I need, and you know, live small, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
As for the
absolutely.
business, sorry, what was that?
No, no, absolutely. I completely agree. Keep going. As for the
Yeah.
business,
And as for the business, I think my focus is I'm in the past, and I'm sure you can relate. In the past, like finances were a big stress, but right now, like the whole world is kind of a dumpster fire. So I'm like, I shouldn't be stressed about this because everyone else is in the same boat. Like I'm
hmm?
not special. So I'm just going to focus on how to make my business enjoyable and how to build it the way that I want, because now I have the time, to be honest. And it's really difficult and it's a weird adjustment. But I think like my goal is just to continue doing what I'm doing, and try and explore more creative ways to get my information and my passion and what I do out there accessible to people who need it. So pretty straightforward for that.
Absolutely, but I think it's inspirational. And if it's just one person, it makes them sit up and take notice of what you're saying and makes them change their outlook. Then that's what it's all about. So absolutely spot on. Thank you. So, what's one tip you can give to someone now in a similar position to you, whether it's about health or training or thinking about starting business? What's that one tip you'd give to someone?
Um, there is no perfect time. And if you
Mm.
continue to wait for the perfect time, you're going to miss it. Um, Honestly, it's so much better to just dive in and try things and fail miserably, to understand you have to chip away your options until you're left with the one that works for you. And if you're always just constantly weighing the options and never trying anything, um, then you'll never know. So, and that applies to everything. It applies to your health. Like, you don't know what kind of fitness class works for you. Maybe you've been running all your life and you hate it and it's not working for you. So try something different, and keep trying it, and fail at, the CrossFit class, and fail at the yoga class until you realize that, oh, swimming is what I like to do. Same thing with your business. Just try different ideas. You have to continue to put yourself out there. And I know, like, manifestation is like a big, it's like a trendy thing right now, but I really do believe that, in the law of attraction, that if you put something out there and that's your focus, those things will continue to manifest and come to you. So yeah, I just, my advice is, it's going to be scary anyway, so why not do it?
It's very sound advice. I completely agree. It's been really, really useful, really, really insightful. Thank you so much. There's so much information there. So, how can anyone who's not come across you before, Chloe, get more information about you and the business?
Just look up Chloe Puff Training. I'm pretty sure I'm the only Chloe Puff around, which is actually my maiden name. My name now is Peterson. But so Chloe Puff Training on IG, on Facebook, it's all the same. ChloePuff.com is my website. CHLOE, not like the Kardashian, and Puff like Puff the Magic Dragon. And I'm pretty easy to find. I'm also very accessible. It's funny because there's so many people that DM me and are like shocked that I message back. I don't know if that's like a thing, that nobody answers their DMs, but
They don't. It's
I'll
true.
always answer. So let me know. Say
Thank you
hi.
so much. Okay, well, I'll share all your details on here as well, but thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. That's really, really insightful. So much knowledge there. I hope it just sparks one person, makes a difference, and that's what it's all about.
As do I. Thank you so much for inviting me. This is really fun.